that this might actually be a record for the fastest recording after I ask someone. Like usually there are people who are fast, but not as quick as you were. I really appreciate the short notice. A lot of people, I mean, I do it too, but we go back and forth forever, like 10, 20 emails just locked down in time. So it's nice to hear yes and then immediately like next day or two we get it done.
Totally. I mean, like I usually like work from home, so like uh I'm like I have like a lot of free time on my hands, which is pretty sweet, you know. So like yeah, we're chilling, dude. Thanks for asking me to be on the show. I appreciate it.
I actually have I've been meaning to ask for a while, but then it's funny the way I do these. So I'll have people in mind that are on a list or like people I've seen their work and been a fan of from before, and then one day like all one of your posts just showed up. Like I was scrolling and then it was not a sponsored ad. That sounds terrible. It was recommended to me and then immediately I was like, oh yeah, I definitely need to shoot my shot and see what you say. Again, thank you for saying yes. I mean, some people, it's not everyone's thing, and I think your I don't know if you're gonna agree. Maybe it's just I haven't looked hard enough. I think you're a bit mysterious of an artist. Like there's a bit less of a face and less of a name to it. I just think of the moniker, and obviously your like drawings are very like imprinted on me. Like I think everyone would think of your art when they hear Bean Mash, but I don't know too much about you as an artist. So hopefully this is a chance to learn a bit more.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of interesting like when people like don't even like know what I look like or anything like that, and like or like, like if you go to like when I go to like a skate park and like someone's wearing like a shirt that like has something I drew on it, and like they don't even know that it's like me. And it's kind of dope just because like, like there is no ego attached to like the art. It's just, like like these drawings are like their own thing, and like it's not like I'm not like trying to be like some sort of like artist influencer. I just like drawing. So yeah. I also like get weird about like putting my face on the internet,
Yeah.
you know? Like I don't love to do it that often.
Yeah. No, no, I mean I maybe do it a bit more than the average person. I don't love it either and it's always weird and it to me feels like something that will never get easier. Like every time it happens, I have the same sort of like embarrassment, self-consciousness. Like
Dude, absolutely. Absolutely. Like it's almost like as the years go by, like everyone starts to like everyone's perception of like what Instagram is and once was like just like continuously changes. Cause like it was made for like making iPhone photos look like Polaroids. Like it's not like it wasn't made to be like anyone's like online portfolio or business tools, but now that's like what we treat it as, which is like there's nothing wrong with that, but like it's just like I feel like sometimes I personally like I take it too seriously, and I'm like, man, this app is just for fun. Like it's not like it's just an iPhone app. Like it's not like so it's not super deep, you know. But then like I'm like, yeah, like I feel weird like seeing pictures. Like I don't know, I never really like post like selfies or something like that. Like that's not really me, you know.
was that like your plan all along, or did it just kind of like go that way? Like even before you were like putting out a lot of your art and stuff, did you treat it as more of like an anonymous platform?
Well, a long time, like I mean, like maybe like 10 or 12 years ago, I had like a just like a regular account, and then I made another one just specifically for my art. And then I just kind of, I don't know, I thought it was weird. I was like, why do I have two? Why am I on two accounts? So I just got rid of my personal one, and then I just started using like the one I have now for like everything, but like less for personal stuff. I think it's like cool when people like are like not too, like they keep their business their own, like when you see someone like crashing out on Instagram and you're like damn, like dude, like you don't know everyone on this app, like what, like that's your own business, like I got like I think it's like good when people like have their own privacy and like cherish it, and like because not everyone needs to know like everything about you.
Yeah, I agree for sure. I also like see the exact opposite on like everyone, even like friends of mine, even like me at times, people close to me, like everyone has a moment of weakness where they maybe like put something too personal out there, and I don't know, the feels like the world is like conditioned to think that needs to happen. I agree. I don't think it needs to happen. Maybe I'm a hypocrite sometimes, and it's kind of fun. I guess maybe like taking pleasure in watching someone's crash out isn't that great, but there have been times where it's been fun to watch someone like doing that. But I also fully agree. I don't know when we all like got tricked into posting that type of stuff.
Yeah, it's weird. There's like a bunch of like social rules, like socially acceptable like rules and stuff like that. I mean, it's all like it's really nuanced, right? Like it's not like black and white. Like everyone can do whatever they want with it. Like I I just, like I guess like at some point I just kind of like started using it as like sort of like an online portfolio, which is kind of cringe to say out loud, but like I don't know. It's been work. It's like it works out for me anyways.
Yeah, I hate it. I'll complain about it until I realize, it's probably the driving force behind people listening to a lot of these episodes, and then I assume like I don't want to boil your work down to that at all, but I assume you get a lot of jobs and are able to live off them.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's how I found out about your podcast as well. It's just like through social media. It's like a bunch of people that I know that have been on like other episodes who I've also met through social media, and like it's like kind of become like uh it's like become like a I mean like it's become a good platform for people to like deliver their you know like like creative like services to like other people and stuff like that, and I don't know, like that's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, would you, if you had to guess, is that where a majority of your work comes from? Like people reach out to you on there to do drawings for them?
Yeah, I would say so. Like I would say like probably like 80% of the stuff that I do for people is like someone who I've never met before, who is just like in my DMs, and like uh I don't know, like it's honestly like I was talking about like just social media with my brother like on the phone like a week ago, and he was telling me that like he was like, man, like you like, oh, I got rid of like all my social media, like you should try it and stuff. And I was like, man, like that'd be nice, but like I just get like I earn like half my livelihood from like just doing commissions for people through social media, which is like it's like it's part of the reason why like I'm on there so much. But it's kind of dope. Like, some random person from like Indiana will hit me up and be like, "Yo, can you be or can you draw like this thing for my band and stuff?" Like all, and then I'm like, "Yeah, like of course." And it's like we don't know each other, but we have like this trust system because I can see what kind of people they are online, and like they can see who I am and stuff. And Like these people don't know me or know what I look like, but they're willing to, you know, give me a bit of bread just for like drawing them a picture for their band and stuff.
Yeah, that's actually a very, very cool way to look at it. Like the anonymity behind it and like them not really knowing, maybe even, I guess your name is on the profile, but not knowing exactly what you look like. There are so many like industries, I think, where someone would never get hired if they were that anonymous. So it's kind of cool that you're very hireable based on only the work and nothing else.
Hmm. Yeah. I'd like it's like kind of like what I was saying before. It's like it's more about the art and not about like, you know, me. I think the sickest thing ever is like when you find out like when you're like a like younger, like you're like you listen to a band and you're like, wow, like this band is so sick, or like this so they're so hard, or this artist is so cool. And then you Google a picture of them and they're just nerds and stuff. And you're like the first time I ever found out what Weezer looked like, I was like, what the wait, sorry, am I allowed to curse on here?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
I was like, what the fuck? Like, why are they look like little virgins? Like, this is crazy. But like, it was like it's so. I think that's the coolest thing. Like when people make are like so infatuated like what with what they make creatively that they don't care about what they look like, and you just Google them and you're like, oh, like they just like look like normal people, and they don't care about what they look like. That's cool.
That the really hilarious. I'm not just trying to relate to that. I also remember when I was young when I first saw whatever the first song Weezer got big off. I saw that video with like the blue background and remember thinking like that guy does not look cool at all.
Yeah, yeah, that's the sweater song. I love that video. Yeah.
Yeah, great band, great video. I remember like thinking, man, the guys that make this music must be so cool, and then seeing that and thinking like, oh, and on the surface, maybe not.
Yeah, yeah, it's cool, man. Like it's sick. Like I mean, it's dope when people look like in a band like they look cool as well. But you know, like it's not everything. It's not the driving force of the art.
And a lot of the time, I worry where I see someone kind of getting maybe more credit for their art or their music or whatever they're doing based on how cool they might look. Like sometimes it's the opposite. People look cooler than they actually are, and I don't love that outcome.
Yeah, I mean, it happens all the time, and it happens like in like it's like what like the it's like the whole plat like what's it called, like the whole foundation for like um what's it called when you're like like a industry plant, like that's like the whole foundation of like that whole like thing, like side of like art and music is just like people, like people they get like someone who will like just looks like what is cool at that moment, and then they're not actually like that talented and stuff.
Yeah, I think it happens actually way more than anyone would think. It's pretty brutal out there in a lot of creative fields these days. But I mean, it's great that you've been able to do it without that. It like gotta be a really nice feeling to know you make stuff and like see people at the park wearing it and they have no idea like you. I mean, I'm not saying you're uncool, I'm not saying you're cool. Like that is just not a factor at all. Like it's the art that matters, and knowing and seeing that must be cool.
Yeah, it is sweet, because I think what it's like it gives like if someone is hyped on the actual art and they don't know who I am or what I look like, I think it like kind of just gives it more credibility because it's not coming from a place that's trying to be like, like catered to like my feelings. And I think like the most honest person is like usually someone who like doesn't really well, I mean it's it's more it's not so black and white, but like people are pretty honest when they don't know who you are. And um yeah, like I don't know, like it's I just find that there's like a lot of credibility when like someone enjoys your art but they don't know you specifically, you know.
The other day, I was actually talking to my girlfriend about almost like the anti-influencer, and like not to at all call you an influencer or lump you in with that, but sometimes when people are the face of something, I feel people can look at that at them as the face, and they already know like if they are or if they aren't like rocking with what that person is standing with because of who they are. They aren't even really like analyzing the product properly. But with you, again, it's great. People are like, do we like the art? Yes or no? And then like there's no other factors in the decision.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's how it should be, honestly. Like it shouldn't be like some sort of like clout thing. It should just be like you appreciate someone's talent and skill in their like in whatever they like devote like their creativity and like that's what it should be about, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. A million times. I wish everyone did, but I do at least. Uh I meant to start this off, and now it's kind of out of place even more. But I see your dog turned 3 today.
Oh yeah, my dog, she's crazy.
Very very beautiful dog. Very nice, like piebald or like spotting on the coat.
Yeah, she's like part Dalmatian, so I I don't know, it's kind of fucked up. I chose like the most like crazy dog to buy. Like she's like a Dalmatian Australian Shepherd mix. And I bought her for my girlfriend's birthday like a few years ago. And like the first year that she was like a puppy, like was like one of the worst years of my life. Like it was fucked. Like Dalmatians can't like process certain meats, and we didn't know that. So she was just like peeing blood like all the time, and like just would like always like hyperactive. And but now she's chilled out a lot, and like she's a good lady. She loves people.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, thank you for clearing up. I was curious if it was like full Dalmatian or if it was mixed, but I didn't know if that was like a really dumb question based on her looking so much like a Dalmatian. But now I know without having to ask.
People never know. People are always like, they're like, is it like, yeah, like people ask all the time, and they're just like, cause I guess, yeah, like she has like a different face and like a different body than like what they look like. But yeah, yeah, she's like I think her dad was like half Dalmatian, half Australian Shepherd, and then her mom was just like an enormous Dalmatian, like she was huge. And yeah, she used to be so crazy. She's still kind of crazy, but like she's chilled out a bunch.
Did you grow up with dogs at all, or is that your first one?
This is my first dog. Like my parents didn't really let me have pets as a kid. It kind of sucked. But I mean, I had a lizard when I was like really young, and this lizard like has lived for like 15 years. And like I moved away from Calgary when I was like 25 or something. And my mom just has this lizard still that I got when I was like 10. And it's like kind of just crazy. Like that was like the only pet that like I was allowed to have as a kid. And like, but you can't really take a lizard for a walk or like play with a lizard or anything like that. But like, you know,
Is it still around?
yeah, he's still kicking. He's just at my mom's house in Calgary, and like he just kind of sits on a rock like every single day. I don't know. I don't know. Like they don't really do much, you know. Like all lizards kind of just like stare and stuff. But yeah, he's good. He's healthy. You know?
Do you know what's the lifespan? I didn't know they live that long.
Yeah, some lizards are pretty like they live like pretty long. He's a gecko, and he's probably gonna live for like until he's like 20, which is pretty crazy. Like that's like longer than a dog,
Yeah.
which is nuts. Yeah. So yeah, it's yeah. But like every time I visit, like I take him out, and I'm like, hey, do you remember me? He probably doesn't remember me at all.
What do you remember? Like, what was it about lizards that your mom let you get, but no other animals?
It was just like it's like small, compact, like clean. Like I just my mom just like she thinks cats are nasty. Like she does not like cats, which is funny because I have a cat as well. And then she thinks like dogs are kind of gross too. And like I don't know, like I remember asking my mom for a dog like multiple times, and she was always like, "No, like you wouldn't, you're not gonna take care of it. Look at me now."
Was she right at all? Like, was it hard at first? Or were you a good dog owner from the beginning?
Uh, dude, I think I was like okay. My girlfriend is like a dog person. She has like lots of dogs, and she's had lots of like jobs with dogs. And like if it weren't for her, like like she helped out so much, and she like always knew how to respond to like every situation. But like that the first year of my dog like being a puppy was like like that was awful. And I had never raised a dog before, and I chose like one of the hardest dog breeds to raise, and that was fucked up. Like I think a lot of people like around me like could see how stressed I was all of the time.
Did you know at all what you were getting into, or you just liked the look of the dog, so you bought it?
I mean, I kind of knew I knew it was going to be hard. I knew it was going to be like I knew she was going to be a handful, but I was like, there's two of us. I work from home most of the time. And at the time, my girlfriend was also, she was like doing this, like she was doing like this grant program. So she was working from home as well. So like we just had like, we had like so much free time to be around her at home. But you can never mentally prepare yourself for something you've never been through. So like, there was this one time when she was like 4 months old. Like it was like this era where she just like would not stop peeing everywhere. Like she wouldn't stop peeing on our couch and stuff. And I was like, fuck, like we need to get a new couch. And then she peed on my PlayStation, and I was like, fuck. Like I got so mad. And then my girlfriend was like, you can't get mad. Like she doesn't know what's going on. And I was like, fuck, like so that was brutal. And then, but we're good now. I got a new PlayStation, and she doesn't pee inside that much anymore.
The PlayStation was like unusable after.
I mean, basically, like it's just like like I don't think so. I haven't. I don't think it works at all anymore. Yeah, but I still have it. It's around there somewhere. But yeah, like that was uh that was really tough. But we're good now. She's a good lady. She's grown a lot.
Yeah, I would have. When I was younger, I wouldn't have thought that, but my girlfriend and I have a dog that was kind of wild when they were young too, and they just kind of grow out of it and are much more behaved like after a certain point. I wouldn't have like really even believed someone if they said it was that like cut and dry, but ours too, like around a year or two, just like changed, was way more chill. You can stop going to the bathroom in the house ish. Still does tiny bit, but not as much as it did when it was brand new.
Absolutely, yeah. You just have to be like really patient and like really like what's the word? like yeah, like you just have to have so much patience, you know? There's like the one thing my girlfriend would always tell me is that like whenever she would do something like that, she was like she would just say like she literally has no idea like what she's doing wrong. Like whenever my dog would eat like a rock or something gnarly off the street, it's like she doesn't know that she's not supposed to do that. So like we're supposed like you have to be like you have to like instead of getting mad at a dog for doing something wrong, you have to encourage it to do something better. And that was like really hard for me. But you know, it's like it was a slow process of like just, you know, doing, you know, like training her over and over again, like to like positively affirm her to do other stuff instead of negatively scolding her to not do certain things. I don't know.
Do you think it like taught you any patience outside of the dog, like just in life? Did you like learn tactics from dealing with her that you applied in life?
I think yeah, like it's just like I think it taught me a lot of empathy. I think I like I think I gained like a lot of empathy like through just like getting like this dog and just, you know, like I think I'm like I've been told I'm like a really stubborn person, and like I think it just kind of it also like, you know, my dog like I think is like just having a dog and like working from home like is like a good way to have like a very concrete schedule. It's like I wake up at around like 7 to 8 around there, and I have to take her out, you know? Like I have to take her out or else she'll like pee in my house or something, you know? So like, you know, when I was like first trying to do like uh commission work from home, like I would wake up at like 10 or 11 every day. And now that I have a dog, like I have this responsibility. So like I'd like take her out like as early as I wake up and then make her breakfast and then I'd get started with my day. And I think that that was like so good for like discipline and for, you know, just like not just like going to bed like super late and then waking up super late, you know?
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you were like a routine person before the dog, or if she kind of like taught you to be a routine guy.
Yeah. I mean, I think I don't think I had like that good of a routine before her. Uh I was just kind of like I don't know, like I think I was just kind of like fucking around a lot and just like not really caring about like that much about like time and deadlines, but like I think it like really has like, you know, made me establish like a very specific routine. Well, at least for like the weekdays, you know, like on the weekends like my girlfriend walks her and stuff, but I usually walk her like Monday to Thursday, and like every day like, you know, I don't know, I go to bed at like 11:30 or midnight and then I wake up at like 7:50.
It must be hard to walk her because I assume people stop you guys all the time to see her and pet her.
Yeah, it used to drive me nuts, honestly. I used to hate the attention so much that I would wear like big headphones and like sunglasses, but also like just like some people like just, you know, don't know how to like some like a lot of like when she was really young, like people would like take my photo a lot without asking, and that would drive me nuts to the point where I just would started to be like a huge asshole about it. Like I remember one time I was sitting outside of this cafe with my mom, and my I was like giving my dog like some like cream cheese or something, and this girl just came up to me and was like taking my photo like in front of me without asking or anything. She was just taking a photo of me and my dog, and that so I just gave her the finger. And then my mom was like, "Don't do that." And I was like, "Dude, that's not like you can't do that. Like you can't just go up to a random person and do that. Like I'm, like this is my time. This is my privacy, like." And that would happen a lot when she was younger, but now I don't mind at all, because it's like you don't really see dogs that look like that a lot. So
Yeah, no, I like based on, I mean, just the carousel of photos I saw of her today. I thought there's no way you can go out in public without people, at least a couple of people every walk, like coming over, taking photos, at least like asking what kind of dog it is, that type of thing.
yeah, that doesn't bother me so much.
It's funny too. You would think like I get why someone would want a photo of that dog, but you don't really need to be in it. I guess you were sitting in close proximity to the dog.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, she was sitting like right next to me, and it's like that's like one instance of like someone like it doesn't bother me too much if someone's like, "Can I take a picture of your dog?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure," and then I just like move out of the way. Like that happened literally yesterday, but some like when she was younger, it would happen so much that I thought that I was on like a list. Like I am not shitting you. Like I like it started to freak me out a little bit because I would walk through my neighborhood and I would just like look around and like people would just like take my photo like kind of often, and I thought like it kind of started to freak me out a little bit. And yeah, it was just, but I mean, glad that's over. That whole first year was awful.
Yeah, nice that you're through it. 3 years now. That's more good years than bad years, I guess.
Totally, totally. Yeah.
So I also should have apologized at the beginning for assuming we were on the same time zone. I mean, I guess this is part of me not knowing enough about you as an artist, but I assumed you were still in Calgary for some reason.
No, it's all good. I mean, I was born and raised there, but I haven't lived in Calgary in like 3 years now. Um, but I go back like every once in a while. But now I live in Montreal, and yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Is that I mean, I was also gonna ask if you were born and raised in Calgary, because like I told you in the DM, that might make less sense now, but there's so many creative people either in Calgary or at least raised in Calgary and gone on elsewhere. It's kind of like it's crazy to me when I think about how many people are spread out through Canada that all come from there, and it's so close to where I'm from. And Edmonton doesn't have even close to as many like exports in the arts field as Calgary does. What were you doing as a kid out there? Like what was your first kind of subculture you were into?
I think like the first kind of thing that like kind of got me like out of the house was like just skateboarding and skateboarding culture. You know, uh, like when I was younger, I like I would go to Mills a lot, and like I just remember just like it's like it was a weird time in skateboarding where you could just make friends with like literally anyone of any age. So like you'd go skate with someone who was like 3 years younger than you, and then someone who was like 8 years older than you, and it was just like kind of normal. And like I think that was like the first thing that like got me really excited is just like seeing people all into something that I just like kind of discovered. And it's like it's a really cool feeling like when you're young and you like find out about something cool and you're like, whoa, there's like a whole like universe of like people who are also into this, who have been into this for like way longer. And like, yeah, like so like I think like one of my friends brought me to Mills when I was in like ninth grade or something. And I remember just being too nervous to skate. Just to, everyone there was like, had neck tats and shit. And I was like, I was like, I can't, I'm too shy. So I just sat like on this ledge the entire time. And then my friend was like so into it and he's just like, yo, like, come on, like, come skate. And then I was like, I am chilling, dude. Like, all these people are like really scary. And then I like was like, I'm never going back there again. And then I started going back there like all the time. And then I would just spend all of my time like at that skate park, like like for years, because that was the only skate park in Calgary for like a long time. That one, and then there was also this like DIY in Forest Lawn. Fuck, I'm forgetting the name, but it was so sick. Uh, it was called Fonda Slab. Yeah, that was a sick area, but it was just like so in like a random field in Forest Lawn, and like that was like skateboarding was like how I got like into like so much stuff. Like it's how I met like so many of the people I know now.
Do you remember how did you get into skating in the first place? Like, what made you want to be a skateboarder?
Totally. I There was this kid who was in my class and who was in I think I was in like sixth or seventh grade, and there was like a kid in my class who his name was Andrew, and he liked skateboarding. And like I remember like he was just like so like typical like little white kid skateboarder like Slayer on the Duotang or whatever. And he skateboarded, and like so then I like got one from a friend, and I would just ride it. Like I couldn't do any tricks or anything. I would just ride it, and I would like I was so hyped on it. And I remember like when you're like a little kid and you ride off a curb and you're like, whoa, this is like the coolest feeling ever. Like I'm fucking Tony Hawk. And then yeah, that was I remember, yeah, like I saw him at Mills like maybe like 6 years later, and he was like, like trying to hard flip out of something or whatever. And yeah, but I think that was like the first thing that got me into skateboarding. And then my dad bought me like a complete when I was in eighth grade. That was like my own, or it was, yeah, I think it was like an element board or something like that. And yeah, that was epic.
How many times did you go to Mills and sit and not skate before you actually skated?
Mm, Probably like at the very beginning, probably like two or three, but in its entirety, probably like 100 times, because I think later on it would just like it just became like a place like where like everyone would just meet up. So especially during COVID, there was this insane era during COVID where like it was after COVID when all of the clubs were like still shut down, and on like weeknights, like I'd go meet my homies like after like work, and it would just be like there would just be like so many people at Mills just like doing like fried shit, like shooting off fireworks or like getting super drunk or like whatever, just because like all these people who like linger clubs or like bars weren't able to. And eventually, like, dude, there were some nights where like things were so genuinely captivating that like you wouldn't even skate. You would just go and sit and like have a beer with your friend and then just watch this like this tomfoolery go down. And yeah, but like towards the beginning, like probably like two or three times, I was like, I can't. I'm just watching.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that was during the fireworks era. I'm sure fireworks go off constantly, but I remember seeing a ton of videos that were like it was clearly like a thing happening there. Like fireworks were getting more and more prevalent in people's videos.
Yeah, absolutely. So. it's so it's so ridiculous, but um I don't know, like they like skateboarders love setting shit on fire.
Yeah, yeah, they do. I like. I'm so envious and jealous when I talk to people from Calgary and they all like any skater or whatever you would talk to always like has a story about Mills, and that's kind of where they grew up. That's where they met a lot of their friend group. And here, like, even though we are close to Calgary, we have a lot of like kind of segregated parks, and like not no one, like everyone in Calgary can just say Mills. They have like one spot where everyone went. We have a whole bunch of little ones where different like crews of kids hang out, but there's no like main artery like Mills. It sounds like a
Yeah.
lot cooler of an infrastructure to have it that way, where everyone just has one place instead of having like 10 or 15 with like a quarter of the people.
Yeah. It's so interesting because it like I mean, like that's what Calgary's like now, you know. We had like there's like probably like 12 parks in Calgary now, but at the time we had the one, and it was kind of a shithole. Like there were like it was definitely like it was made before in the year like 1999 or something, before like New Line parks existed. So like it didn't really like make a lot of sense, and like the ground was like really fucked. Like there was like holes everywhere and stuff. But I I've said this before, like I would trade any park in Montreal for Mills. Like I miss that place so much, and like I think about it a lot, and there's a lot of fun parks in Montreal, but I think like just it's something about like where you first learn to skate that like you're like it's like you will always like remember like those tricks, and like there's like a few things that like at Mills that I just like I feel like I'll never forget how to do. And like just the feeling of going there on like a Tuesday like summer night, like, and you just run into like you don't even like hit anyone up. You just go there and you just see random people you know, and it's like something about that feeling like is so special.
Do you remember like what was the first like super meaningful trick you're talking about? What's the first thing you got there that like you'll never forget?
Um, I think like maybe trying to think. I think like when I was like a lot younger, there was this one bowl called Clover, and it was like in the and it was in the expert section, and it was like a bowl that it was like three bowls. There was like a small one and a medium one and a large one, and it was a really cool bowl, and it was always like it would get painted like a random color every few years and stuff. And like I think like when I was like a bit younger, I learned how to like roll into like the big one, and I just remember like I just did it. I just was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna try it," and then I just did it immediately, and I was like, "This is so sick!" Like I don't know, I wasn't like super confident rolling in, and then I just did that one because like I had friends who would just do it all the time, and I was like, "Whoa, this is so sick!" And I don't know, I just there was like a moment where I was like, I just want to become like an old head and just skate this bowl. Just come here and only skate this bowl and nothing else. But that got me really hyped.
What kind of skater do you think you kind of became? Like definitely not like an older bull dude, right?
I mean, I don't really skate that much anymore, but at the time I was just kind of like I don't know, like hitting like mani pads and like little ledges and stuff like that. I kind of suck at skateboarding, I'm not gonna lie. But like I was really into just trying to do like weird tricks, like not necessarily like any like I can't like I couldn't do anything like super tech or anything like that. I just remember I would try to just like do like weird maneuvers and stuff, you know.
That's another one of my favorite things about this whole like Mills lore I hear about. There's like stuff for everyone. There's so many different types of skaters that kind of get like raised by that park. Here it's like, all the kids that are loyal to each thing, they have like kind of one thing that they focus on and they're kind of like known for. When I talk to all the kids who know about Mills, it's like there are so many different ages, styles, like tricks, like, and everything is like so like all over the place in a good way. Like here, it doesn't really go that way either.
Uh-huh. Absolutely. Yeah. It was really cool. Like it was like I mean for a long time like there was like the biggest skate park in like Canada, I'm pretty sure. And but there was like it wasn't like just like a like it was they had like every type of obstacle there. And like if you went to each section, there would be like a very specific type of person hanging out at that section. And that was pretty cool. And like it was also so big that like sometimes you wouldn't even like be able to find your friend, like, or they'd be at like the other side of the park and you couldn't like really see them, you know. And that was pretty sweet, like just seeing like because I feel like a lot of parks now, especially these new line parks, are like they all have their own like kind of theme, like some of them are mostly transition, or some of them are mostly like ledges and stuff. And but like yeah, Mills kind of had like a lot of everything, which was cool.
Is it like from what you know, it's still a thriving scene, or was it kind of like your era and like people around that age? They were like a huge part of it, but it maybe isn't like as visited these days.
I don't think people skated that much right now. I know that there was like this thing happening last summer where like cowboys like I think they like bought the land that like the skate park is on, and they closed it for the summer or something for some sort of like event. And then there was like a grass field in between the skate park and like the armory that was next to the skate park. It was like a huge park and they would have festivals there all the time. And then someone got a permit to just turn it into like a parking lot or something, or like they just paved over the grass. It's like super fucking weird. Like the last thing that Calgary needs is another parking lot, like there's like it's like half that city is parking lots. But I don't think like any of the people that I still know in Calgary like go to Mills that often. I think it's like kind of like barren these days.
Did a lot of like your friends and affiliates like are they still in Calgary? Or do most people like disperse elsewhere to like do what they're doing as adults?
I think, well, I mean, I still have a lot of friends in Calgary, and it's really nice. Like when you go back, you like I think most of my friends still live in Calgary, but like it is like pretty surprising. Like, I mean, actually, it's not surprising anymore. Like when you meet someone here, like in Montreal or like in Toronto, like at a party or something, and they're just from Calgary or Edmonton and stuff. I think like most of the people that I hang out with here in Montreal are either from BC or Alberta. I think like everyone kind of just like a lot of people like stick together, especially since there's this like tremendous language barrier in like Quebec, you know? It's like kind of interesting. Like for every scene there is here, there's like another French scene that like you might not know about. But yeah, I have lots of friends from Calgary here, which is nice.
I've definitely noticed that like in other cities, Alberta people really like stick together. And whenever like even actually I've been in Europe before and like hung out with only Edmonton people, it's kinda weird, but also cool that everyone kinda like travels together.
yeah, it's pretty cool, you know. I miss it a lot, but hopefully the next time I'm in Calgary, I can maybe try to skate Mills. You know, that'd be sweet.
If you don't mind me asking, was the move to Montreal based on like your design work, or you just wanted to move?
Um, well, I mean, I knew I wanted to move out of Calgary like at some point. When I was when I was younger, there were a lot of like punks that I was like really fond of and like that I was friends with that like moved away before me. And it was like kind of like it was like after I first started going to like shows and stuff and like meeting like older punks and stuff. And then it felt like a lot of them had just like disappeared. And I visited like Montreal with like a bunch of my friends like in 2022 maybe, I think. I can't remember, but like a long time ago. And I just remember like coming here and just being like, holy shit, there's so many Albertans everywhere. And even the people who aren't from Alberta are like so nice. Like everyone here has so much downtime. Like no one cares about anything. Like everyone, it's just like it just seems like everyone is so randomly hanging out with like anybody. And then I just like also remember like, like hearing about how like, like it like rent was cheaper in Quebec and stuff. And so then I applied for a job at a print shop in uh in St. Henry, which is like South Montreal, to work at this print shop, which is like what I went to school for. So I was like I had just like envisioned myself like being like a printer in Montreal, and I was like, I think I'm gonna do this. And so then like the next year, like me and my girlfriend both agreed to like move to Montreal together, and then I moved here, and then that job didn't end up working out, and the warehouse that they were like based out of moved to like this warehouse really far away. Like I don't even know if you can access it by metro, but I ended up getting another print job, and it was like I worked from like 7 to 3, like every week, like every day of the week. And I just remember like being like, yo, this is the life. Like just being like feeling so weird. Like that, like the first few months I lived here, like I was so excited. And then I just remember being like having like kind of moments of doubt where I was like, man, like did I like abandon like my friends and like my family and stuff? And like, but I don't know, like that stuff kind of like goes away. I also think like no one should live anywhere forever. Like my parents have lived all over, and like there will probably be a moment where I don't want to live in Montreal anymore.
Is it? I know you mentioned before maybe getting a good majority of your work like remotely, so it might not matter. But is it easier to work as an artist in Montreal than it would be from Calgary?
I mean, it's hard to say, but for me it was because I I feel well like the first for like I think like the first year or so that I lived here, I only did like commission work, and my rent was like $400. So I got a lot of opportunities here that I definitely wouldn't have gotten that if I lived in Calgary. And I was doing posters and graphics for bands that like I like never even like thought I would be able to do. And it was because of like the local scene here, like there were bands here in Montreal that were playing shows with these like other bands that were like bigger and stuff like that. And at the time, not as many big bands were coming to Calgary, so like I just feel like there was no reach beyond like the scene in Calgary. And when I came here, like I just started doing a lot more. I started doing like a lot of international like commissions, for people like in other countries and stuff like that. And I honestly don't know if I would have had the same leverage if I wasn't doing so many graphics for like Montreal bands that like tour all the time, go like that they go to, Europe and Asia and stuff. And I mean, like anything's possible, but I think for me personally, like moving to Montreal, like really gave me like an advantage to like reaching beyond Canada.
That's super cool, like really unique. It's like you like almost you used local means, but then got your stuff seen globally. Like I can't even really think of another instance where you'd be able to like use local tactics, and by working locally, you would have your stuff seen by international people and then have it spread that way. Very unique.
Yeah, it's really, I think like there was this one time, this is like one of the coolest experiences I had. Like I was at the Guggenheim with my girlfriend and my friend Jack, and we were like getting a coffee from the cafe. Like the Guggenheim in like is in like New York, and I remember I just like saw this dude like eating a scone with his parents, and he was wearing a shirt that I designed, and it was like for this like snowboard company from like Salt Lake or something like that. And I just remember being like, wow, that is so cool. And like I never would see, I mean like it's cool to see people like wear your, wear stuff you've made at like a skate park and stuff. But like when you see like random people out in the world like, wearing your stuff, like you're like, I was like, oh, that is so cool. And then I tried so hard not to stare at this guy, and like, but that was a really cool feeling, where like, yeah, it was really sweet.
Yeah, no, definitely cool. Very like validating
Yeah.
in a way, like just I mean stuff actually the probably one of the cooler stories like that anyone's told me on here. Like I've heard similar things maybe, but not like that far away and not in the context of like a world renowned art gallery and it being like completely different than what you would expect. Like yeah, at a skate park or something makes a bit more sense, but a random person at the Guggenheim is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Every once in a while, I'll see like on the internet like someone from like a band like somewhere in the world like wearing like a band shirt that I've made or something like that, and that's pretty cool too. You know, um, yeah, but seeing it in person, crazy.
I want to ask just because I'm curious, have you like discovered any bands through your art? Like a band you've never heard of, if they hit you up to draw for them and then you realize like this band is so sick and now it's like one of your favorite bands, but you never heard of them until they commissioned you?
Um, yeah, I mean, I think one of the first bands, I think the first band that I did out of Montreal was this band called Phase. They were like they're like a hardcore punk band that they really like, I mean they really helped me branch out because they're like kind of big shit in Montreal right now. But I had never heard of them before, but I guess like Kevin from Nine Times knew the singer, like because like the singer used to work for Vans or something, and he asked me if I wanted to do a graphic for his band, and I I was like, yeah, like that would be so sweet. And then yeah, I made some shirts for him when I was still living in Calgary, but I didn't know who he was. I hadn't never met him before or anything like that. And that was pretty cool. Like I remember like just hearing their music. Like they sent me their like demos and stuff, and I was like, whoa, this is like the exact kind of music that I like listening to. And then recently I did a like merch for a band from Guam, like like in Asia or something, and like I had never heard their music either, but they're called Juiced, and they were like, "Yeah, we love your stuff." And I recently like did a shirt graphic for them, and they sent me their music, and I was like, "Oh, this is really cool." It's kind of like alt rock, but it's kind of like pop punk a little bit, and I was like, "Oh, this is like this is pretty sweet." But they all like are into hardcore, but they just have this one like soft band, and that was pretty cool too. You know, yeah. But also like a lot of times the reverse happens where like someone hits me up and they're like, "Yo, we need to do this design for my band." I listen to it, I'm like, "Damn, this sucks," you know. But you can't really say that to someone.
Yeah, no, as you were saying it, that's all I was thinking, but I was like, I don't know if I can ask that or if he's gonna want to say it, but I guess if you're offering, that's, yeah,
No, it happens all the time. It happens like a lot of the time actually, and you know, sometimes I will do it, you know, like especially if like they're younger and they're like, you know, it's like their first band or something. I'll do it and that's fine. But I think the only time I usually like ignore a request or like just like like reject a request is like if the actual idea that the person has is a bad idea. And I kind of just like I'll be like straight up about it. Like I'll be like, I don't think this will look good on a shirt. Like I don't think I will be able to make this look dope. But I can try something else. Or like if I don't have enough time or if the band kind of sucks. Like if they suck as people, you know?
yeah, yeah, that's gotta be like a tricky tightrope to walk, right? You don't want to like work with anyone who later might it be a bad look for you just to be affiliated with them. Like I mean, a bit different. I'm so lucky. I haven't done an episode with anyone who's got like canceled after the fact. But like we were talking before we recorded my nightmare of losing the audio. It's another nightmare of mine to have an episode that I love be with someone who ends up like doing something sus, and then I have to like pull that because I can't like really be affiliated with that. It hasn't happened yet. Have you done anything? You don't need to name if you have, but anyone who's like got into some hot water later, that's a bad look for you.
Um Definitely. Let me think. Uh I mean, yeah. I mean, I feel like I've done like a few uh not necessarily I don't know if I've done like a lot of stuff. Like yeah, I think I've done a few things for like people who are canceled now. I think like the most like recent thing that comes to mind is that like I did a graphic for this band that not only they suck and they like they're not like canceled, but they just like kind of suck as people. And they came out with this song called Horror. Like they're like it's like a bunch of guys in a band, and they called this song Horror, and like the lyrics are like terrible. It's like get out of my face, you fucking whore, and like it's like well, I remember just listening to that and be like, dude, like this sucks. Like this is so whack. And I just like I think they asked me to do a graphic for them again, and then I was like I was like I don't think I could ever work for this band again, you know?
Yeah, no, that's terrible. It's gonna be hard to deal with, but it's good. Like some people maybe with less of a spine or whatever would just do whatever for whoever pays them. So it's nice to know that you have standards and integrity behind like what you do as well.
Yeah. It was kind of super weird. It was like is I mean, yeah, it's just like I don't know what would like go through like someone's mind to like write something like that, and like how you like can't tell like hear how that sounds to other people or like how it could sound to like a girl
Yeah.
being like there's no way any girl is gonna like jive to that or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. It would be pretty hard to find a girlfriend or a wife after that, I
Yeah,
would assume.
yeah.
Uh, I didn't even consider this, but you said it now. I'm thinking about like how much when people commission stuff from you, I would have thought that they would just like know of your designs and kind of the overall aesthetics of what you do, and then they would reach out to you based on that and kind of give you free rein. But how much input are these people giving you? Like people come to you with ideas and like tell you how to make the design?
I mean, it depends on the person. Some people are very particular, and some people don't know what they want. Uh, I think it's worse when someone doesn't know what they want because they usually know what they don't want. But like when someone just says, usually when someone says, "Yeah, do whatever you want," they don't mean it. They just don't know what to tell you what they want. Um, the best for me, I think the best is like when someone is very like um, when they give me like a very basic concept. Like for example, if someone says, "Oh, can I get a goblin with a sword?" and just do it in your style or whatever, or like, can I get like this type of shading, or and then if they give me like an inspiration for like a font, you know, that's like I think that's like the best um, sort of direction. But yeah, like a lot of people will just tell me, yeah, like do whatever you want, and then like I'll do something. I'll like try to listen to their music or like do whatever, like try to get some sort of inspiration from them, and then try to match the vibe. And then sometimes it doesn't work out, but like I don't know, like yeah, like a lot of people don't know what they want until they see what they didn't want, and then usually it's just I think I've gotten better at like navigating a conversation like with commissions where it's like I like right from the get go, it's like, do you have a concept? Do you have a timeline? Do you have a budget? Is there like, and like sometimes I'll even ask people, like, is there anything like you like want me to stay away from, like any imagery or like themes or whatever? And usually people are good about that because, you know, they can tell you exactly what they don't want. And that's good.
That's actually incredible advice. Or, I mean, just like a point of thought, just to know what you don't want, like
Yeah.
what to like stay away from. That actually sounds almost more helpful than knowing what they want. That's they can be applied to a lot of stuff. That's smart.
Yeah, absolutely. I've used it to like uh try to pick like a restaurant or something before. Like like with my girlfriend, I'm like, what are you not in the mood for? And she's like, I don't want pizza right now. I'm like, okay, that's perfect.
That's genius. I'm actually gonna use that with Sarah next time we're debating for 4 hours about what to eat, which is pretty common.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah.
Do you like when I guess kind of the same question about what made you want to skate, but what do you remember like what made you want to like be a Uh, I guess what would you say you are? Like I want to say artist or like designer, but is there a better term for it?
I think I would just say artist, just because like I feel like that's like the most basic term. I don't really like have any like I don't have that many computer skills. Like I know how to use Photoshop a little bit, but like for the most part, like everything is just hand drawn. So like to like answer your question, like I I've been drawing like ever since I can remember. But like when I I just remember like when I was younger, I would make like a lot of like, music art, but for no reason. Like I would draw like something in like my school binder or something, and it would say like, it would say Sabbath on it, and it was like a wizard or something like that, and that was pretty cool. Or I loved making like fake J cards when I was younger, like for tapes that would never exist. And then yeah, and then like I guess like when I started going to shows and stuff like that, like, you know, I would just I don't know, like I guess like at some point somewhere like someone asked me to do something. I think like where it really started for me, like to actually start doing like commissions was like nine times. Like my friend Jackson, like he like I remember one time he told me he was like, yo, they want you to do like a board for them. It was like right around the time when like the location in Calgary had just opened. And I just remember being like, "Whoa, this is like the biggest deal ever! Like this is the coolest thing that ever happened to me." And because I was like, why would they want me? Like I don't even know how to like skateboard that well. And then yeah, he like somehow like I don't know. I think he might have told them like to hit me up or something. But yeah, like I did like a shirt and a board graphic for them like almost 10 years ago. It's like super weird. It's like I think it was like 8 years ago. And then like from that point on, like I remember I was just like, oh, like this is so sick. Like I should just try to do this more often. So I started doing like text for like bands and stuff, and then my own bands as well. And then yeah, like time just passed, and then now yeah, I just do it all the time, and it's pretty sweet.
I have one of those 9 times hoodies.
Oh, sweet, like the one with the mushroom.
Yeah, yeah,
Word, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That
That
one's like that's kind of crazy. Like that I drew that so long ago. Like they originally rejected it because they thought it was too gnarly, and then later on, like I think like Jason or Kevin, like one of them was like, actually, we are gonna use it. Like we don't care that they were because at first they were like there are kids who like shop here and stuff, and I don't know if we can like sell this to a kid. And then yeah, like and then like maybe a week later they were like, you know what, fuck it, let's just use it. And then yeah,
that's funny. That very like kismet. That's kind of how I found out about you and started like paying attention to your like drawings, and then for that to be kind of what like made you take all this seriously. That's pretty cool.
yeah, it was really cool. Like I think yeah, around there it was like that was a huge deal for me. Like I remember like I was coming home from school, like from like university, and he sent me a photo of the boards, and I was like so hyped. Like it was like one of the coolest. It's so crazy like see like something you drew on like a board or like a shirt for like the first time for like an official place, and I was so hyped, and they like gave me a few, and I gave one to my mom and stuff, and it felt like I was pro, It felt like I was like fake pro.
Yeah, yeah, of course. And like even I can imagine a bit of the feeling too back then. Like when it's your first thing, it feels like the biggest thing you'll ever do. And then I'm sure over the past 8 years, you've done a million more like very cool things, but still, that first one is always gonna feel like the most important.
Yeah, it definitely does. I think it's like one of my favorite ones. I'm hyped they used it. Um, yeah, like I've been thinking a lot. Like I think I I I don't know. I'm like I yeah, I think that's like my favorite one I've done for them, which is like kind of funny because I've done quite a bit for them, but like that one's like that that one was really like instinctive. Like it just they didn't give me much direction. They just said do a mushroom, and I just did it, and it was and I and it like I didn't really like hesitate. It just like it was like a first it was like a first mock-up kind of thing.
That's always like so nice when it works out that way. Really, like rare, I guess. But sometimes too, like when I look at older things I've done, I also hold them kind of in higher regards than new stuff because I feel like sometimes new stuff has too much thought put into it, or like too much of the rules or too much about the industry or whatever. It was always like more free at the beginning. So it seems like even though you might be a way better artist now, it's like what went into that first one was so much more simple and straightforward, and it made like maybe not better, but it seems better at the time for sure.
Yeah, I think there was like a lot less pressure, like because like even though like it was a big deal for me, it was like just like it was for the local shop and like like I knew all these people pretty well and like they were all like friendly and normal people. So like it never felt like I was like had to crack down and like make the best thing ever. It was just like and like they're very casual too, right? So like Kevin was like, "So you want to make something for the shop?" And then I was like, "Yeah, like I would love to. I would I would I would absolutely love to." But like it was very chill. And even when they came in to the shop, he was like, "We got one of every color." And I was like, "That's sick." I'm freaking out. Like I'm freaking out right now. But it was yeah, it was like very there was like not a lot of rules. Just I think like the one rule was like just don't make it too gnarly for kids, and I broke the one rule, and then they were like, "Oh, whatever."
Yeah, skate shops have been selling gnarly stuff to kids since the dawn of skate shops, though. It's kind of on brand for every skate shop.
Yeah,
Like, sell something that parents disagree with or don't love.
yeah, absolutely. I remember when I was like, I think I was like 17 or 18. I bought a fucking awesome shirt with uh, it was so edgy. It was and, like thinking about it now, it was like, why would I wear this? Like, it was like it had a picture of like a guy doing cocaine in front of his daughter on it. And I remember like I was like so hyped on. I was like, wow, this is like the craziest thing I've ever owned. And my mom like fully just yelled at me and she was like, "You're returning this like right now." And I was like, man, and that was like it's kind of crazy. I was like 17 and they like sold me that. But like, you know, like yeah, it was just you like I didn't know like kids were probably hyped on like the mushroom thing as well. They probably didn't even know what it meant or anything like that. And like at least it wasn't that like as edgy as the fucking awesome shirt.
Yeah, for sure. I was gonna say that. Like, I mean, a little edgy, but compared to a lot of the stuff out there, I think it's pretty, like, tame.
Yeah, I think it is. It's also just like it's a cartoon graphic, so you know,
So always like since the beginning and then almost till now, like music and music graphics is like a huge part of what you do.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. I think I'm like trying to like just mostly do that. Like I'm not really trying to do like clothing anymore. Like unless it's for like the shop, or if it's for like a skate brand. Like I think I can get on board with that because skateboarding is still like I don't skate nearly as much as I used to, but like it's still like I think there's still like a part of it that's like in my identity. But I don't like like now that I like sometimes I'll get hit up by like some streetwear brand or something like that, and I honestly I don't even open them anymore. I'm like I don't want to be a part of that.
The dime stuff you did was great.
Yeah, thanks. I used to work there actually, and I yeah like my coworker, he told me to submit some graphics, and and I was really hyped on that one. I that was okay. So like they all their graphics are from like their production takes so long because they make like lots of knitwear and lots of like embroidered things and like stuff with like studs or sequins. Like they make like a lot of elaborate clothing. So all the graphics you see like that come out are from like 2 years ago. So like I drew that when I first worked at Dime like 2 years ago, and I like just kind of had to sit on it. And they were like the guy one like he's like he was one of my coworkers. He was like, "Yeah, so this is coming out like spring 2026." And I was like, "Fuck!" Like in my mind, I was like, "What if this sucks in 2026? Like, what if this is lame?" You know? And like I like looked at it like when I saw it like online, I was like, "Oh, that's okay. It's not that bad. It's like it's chill." You know?
Yeah, no, I didn't know it was like there's that much time in between designing it and then having it made, but I loved it. I still think it'll hold up forever.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. I they said I could submit some more, so I'm gonna try to submit some more that maybe we'll see in 2 or 3 years.
And that would be impossible for me. Like I don't do anything like on that level at all. But if I was to look at something I made now in 2 years, almost 100%, I'm gonna maybe not hate it, but at least not love it and know like what I've grown into over the past 2 years. So it's commendable in itself that you can like have something out there you're proud of now that you know you drew 2 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's funny like when you look at your old work and like, sometimes you'll be like, "Oh, that was actually like kind of a good idea." Like, "Oh, I liked what I did there." And then sometimes you'll be like, "That's terrible," or like, "That's cringe." And but I think it's like, looking back at like what your past art looks like and being like that's cringe is like kind of like an integral part of like growing as an artist, because if you never like look back at your old work and say like, oh man, that's like inferior to like what I am capable of now, like as an artist, like it doesn't really mean that you're growing that much, like I think it's good for artists to critique themselves, like, and be like, oh, like, oh, I don't really like that, like what was I thinking and whatever, like I I think like it means that you like being self critical like in that aspect is like a good thing, and it means that you're growing, you know.
Yeah, yeah, of course. I mean, great advice. I should maybe take a bit of that advice to heart, but yeah, I agree. Maybe not. I'm not as lenient on myself when I look back at old stuff, but it is like very important, very useful tool to be able to like go and assess older stuff, and even if you don't love it, like take lessons from it. That's
Hmm.
again, like I probably should be more okay with that, but it also a good thing that you are.
Hmm. Absolutely. It's like, yeah, I think it should be like kind of normal, just being like, like not everything like every artist make is. There's no artist out there that is capable of making perfect work all of the time. And
Yeah,
I think like the more artists like embrace that there is like a lot of failure that goes into, making art, whatever kind of art it is, that there's so much trial and error in trying to find that your specific like voice in that, like it's not like everyone just is like Michelangelo or whatever, like it takes a little bit of time and it takes effort and it takes like a lot of frustration and stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. And like you just have to do something over and over again.
for sure. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I Looking at the time, I think I've probably eaten up enough of your day, but I have one question that I don't know if you're gonna hate it or not, but can I ask, like, would you mind sharing what's the story behind Bean Mash? Like, why is that the moniker you've chosen?
Oh, okay, yeah. So this is funny. When I was in sixth grade, I mentioned this kid earlier on who like introduced me to skateboarding, who like had like Slayer carved into his binder or whatever. And he was making me a Facebook account with my friend. And so my friends like were like, "Why don't you have Facebook?" I was like, "I don't know." And then they were like, "You should make a Facebook. We're making you a Facebook." And then he made me an email with BeanMash. And I just have that's like been my email since like sixth grade. It's like I have a different email now, obviously, because like I'm not trying to, you know, like I'm not trying to use like Bean Mash like other than like on Instagram. In fact, like hearing it out loud is so like it's so gross to me. Like it's so it's like it's like so like it's so lame, but like yeah, it's just I don't know. Like I used it as like my like Facebook name for a while, and then like I just made it my like when I got an Instagram, I made it my Instagram name, and then I think the worst is when people think it's like my last name or something. I'm like, how on earth do you think that that is someone's last name? You know, like that's crazy. Or like when people call me it when they say Daniel Bean Mash, I'm like, no, 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 that's not that's not my name, you know. And I don't really, yeah, like I just like kind of kept it. I've thought about changing it like eventually, but I don't know. It's just so it's just so easy to just keep it the way it is.
It's funny. I doubt it was his intent, but that kid like imprinted on you for life. Like showing you skating and then coming up with the name, like you can never really forget him.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out Andrew Shellstad.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds like a true king ahead of his time too. How did he like know about skating and Facebook so early on?
Right? Yeah, he was like, yeah, he's definitely like a lot more mature than I am. Like I wonder where he's at now. You know, he's probably chilling hard. He's probably doing a blunt side somewhere.
I was gonna say, like, he was good at skating, right? Like, because when you're young, I feel like you think anyone who's showing you something is automatically, like, kind of the goat of this, but it sounds like he was actually good.
I don't think it was like actually that good. I think I was just like young and naive. Like I think he could do a heel flip when he was young. And like I think I was like I had never seen anyone do that in like real life. And like when you see someone skateboard for the first time in real life, you're like, what the fuck? Like that makes no sense. You're doing that in the air? Like that makes no sense. But I mean, I think he was like he was like, you know, he wasn't like the jaw, like he was just like a normal skater kid.
And when I was that young, though, and funny about all this, if someone would have, like, done an ollie in front of me, I would have probably thought they were, like, the upper echelon of skateboarding, like, the most important skater in the world.
Dude, absolutely. I remember I saw someone like transfer on a spine once and it blew my mind. Like just go over it. I was like, but it's like a spike. Like how do you do that? And yeah, it's always those like little things like at the beginning where you're just like, wow, I want to learn how to do that.
Yeah, I like that those are the things that stick with people
Yeah,
too. Like just like a nice simple trick taught to a newcomer that can stay longer than any like crazy hammer anyone could throw.
dude, of course. Yeah, yeah.
Well, Before I actually kick us both off, do you want to let anyone listening know where they can find you or your work or anything you want to promote right now? The mic is yours. Please go ahead.
Uh, okay. You can find me at Instagram.com at slash BEANMASH. Shout out 9 times. Shout out IFO. Shout out Phase. Total Supply. Homie Shit Mag. Shout out Skazafava's Deli. Shout out Gap Tooth Sweatsuit. Megan, you are you are my role model. Uh, and oh yeah, shout out Guy Ringworm as well.
That's a great outro. I love like it barely happens, but a couple people have kind of taken the time to shout out friends and girlfriends, boyfriends, stuff like that. Those are my favorite outros, and I gotta commend you on that one. It's good. Not enough people like take the time to shout out like friends and people who've helped them along the way. So I love that you did.
Respect, yeah. Like I don't know, like I'll just like all those people have like influenced me in some way or another. Uh and like yeah, like they could all probably influence other people as well.
Yeah. No, that's another thing. I love like knowing people have shown you something and then seeing they could really show that same thing to others if given the chance. So I'll make sure to look up what I can and plug all that as well because it's good to give everyone their flowers when they deserve them.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yo, thanks a bunch for asking me to be on on the show. I was like pretty nervous, but like honestly, like I don't think I needed to be. This is just felt like a conversation.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Everyone, maybe not everyone, but almost everyone is always nervous a bit before it. And like to be honest, oh my, like I've done so many, but it's still like waiting for the person to hop on. I'm thinking like, I mean, we're talking about nightmares. The audio flopping, what else did I say was a nightmare? Oh, someone getting canceled after the fact. Also, like having a bad back and forth hasn't really happened yet either, but I'm dreading it if it does. But I always try to tell people when they say they're nervous, like it'll be over before anyone knows, and it's just like we're talking about whatever comes up, and it just happens to be recorded. It's like the
Mhm.
easiest least stressful thing possible. I think you did a great job. I know more than I did going into this, so I did what I set out to do. And thank you. I mean, I appreciate you being here again on short notice. That was a lot of fun for me. But beyond that, enjoy the rest of the day and the weekend. Have fun celebrating Millhouse's birthday.
Totally, man. Thanks, Wesley. Thanks for asking me to be on. Uh, I'd look forward to hearing it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, word. Okay, well, I guess I'll see you I'll see you on the web.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I'll show you an email just about assets and photos for the post, but I think everything else I got what I need.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Wesley. Take care.
Thank you. Peace.
Have a good weekend. See ya.